Hey gang, so we are going to start our unit on factoring. I encourage you, if you are a connected learner and you're like, I'm just going to watch the video, come to Zoom. We meet every day and there's lots of stuff on there that we do. So one of the things today, if you are a connected learner especially, you're not going to have this worksheet, so you're going to want to do this. In class, we're going to be doing this. I'm going to give you an X and I'm going to give you this. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me two numbers that multiply to give me the top, but add to give me the bottom. Two numbers that multiply to give me 18, but when you add them together, you get 3. Well, here's what I say. Think of the multiples of 18. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. Well, that wouldn't give me negative 18, but it would give me 18. This is a positive 3. If I did 6 minus 3 is 3, and then there it is, that works. Okay, let's try another one. Let me give you negative 54 and 3. What numbers multiply up to give me negative 54, but add down to give me 3? So think about the numbers that multiply to give you 54. And now you might be saying, well, 1 times 54 is not negative 54. I don't exactly look at that sign right there. I just kind of say, you know, what would give me that? Maybe you're not really good at factors. Like, what are the factors of 54? Let me show you another way to do this as well. On your calculator, you do y equals, and you do this. You take 54 and you divide it by x. I'm going to zoom in on that. This is a great little cheat to get factors of something. Whatever you're trying to multiply to get, divide it by x. Then go to your table. Look for everywhere you see an even, numbers that multiply that aren't decimals. So we've got 1 times 54. Let me zoom that out just a little bit so we can see it. Okay, I've got that one. 2 times 27. 3 times 18, 4 times 13.5. Okay, that's not a factor. 5 times 10.8. No, that's not a factor. 6 times 9. Oh, 6 times 9. Can I put 6 times 9 together and probably get that 3? Yeah. 6 times 9. Okay, let's look at that. I need a negative 54. So I need one of these to be negative. But I need a positive 3. Positive 9 minus 3, or minus 6, is 3. There it is. That works. Okay, let's try another one. Here we're going to do 36 and negative 13. I'm going to let you do that one for a second. Factors of 36. So again, if you're not sure, y equals 36 divided by x. Oops. 36 divided by x. Second table. 1 times 36, 2 times 18. I've got to get the 13. There it is. 4 times 9. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. 4 times 9. Negative 13, but a positive. Ooh, how do you do that? Well, negative 9 and negative 4, that gives me negative 13. When you add them together, you get negative 13. But negative times a negative is a positive. So there you go. Okay, let me get the next one. All I'm going to do... Hopefully you did 2 times 5. I need this to be negative, so I need the bigger number to be negative. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Now, today's lesson is all about doing this. Those of you that are in class right now, if you're watching it, you want to finish that worksheet that I gave you, because we've got a whole bunch of those. By the time you finish that worksheet, you will have this down pat. You will be good to go. All right. For the rest of us, we are going to start on here. Here we go. So let's go back and let's review what it means to multiply a binomial times a binomial. So let's say multiplying polynomials. All right, I'm going to show you a little bit different way to do this than what we did the first go around. The first go around, I said 2x times 7x and 2x times 1. I'm going to show you now something you learned in biology. We're going to take 2x minus 1, and we're going to do it like here. We're going to write 2x here and negative 1 here. Then we're going to come over here and take this one, and we're going to put the first term here, 7x, and 1 here. Now, if I don't put anything in front, that means it's positive. Now, we're going to find the area of that square right there. What's the area of that square? Length times width. It'd be 2 times 7 and x times x. That would be 14x squared. Now let's do this one. 2x times 1. You might be thinking, Punnett square. Yes, it is. 2x. Now let's do 7x times negative 1 to get this one. Negative 7x. And the last two, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Now, what's really cool about these when we do them, always, always, on the diagonal, they add together. So you take the first one, this right here, 14x squared. Negative 7 and 2 always go together and give me negative 5x. And then whatever's on the end, it goes down here. Works that way every time. So this next time, this right here on the diagonal, these are going to go together. Whatever ends up there, it's going to go together. All right, so here we go. 3x minus 1, so 3x minus 1, x and 14. 3x times x, that's 3x squared. 3x times 14, let's see, 3 times 14, that'll be, I'm going to put my x, I'm going to have 2, 12, 13, so 3, so 42. I believe that's right. X times negative 1 would be negative 1x, and negative 1 times 14 is negative 14. Always, always, the diagonal adds together. So the first and last are going to go down here. So 3x squared plus 41x minus 14. And that, my friends, is Punnett squares. That is multiplying polynomials together and putting them in what we're going to call a box. Now, over here, let's see if I can remember this. It's been a while since I've done this worksheet this way. Okay, if you're going to factor, that's what this is called, is factoring. First, you want to be sure the polynomial is in what we're going to call standard form. Now, standard form is going to be ax squared plus bx plus c. It's got to look like that in order to be able to factor it. Fill in the box, okay, with the first and the last term. Now let's review that first and the last term. This is the first term, this is the last term, okay? If I were going to factor, what is factoring? Like, we didn't even talk about that. Factoring is when you take this, I give you this, and you give me this up here. Not this. You give me this. I give you this, and you say, oh, it was this. I started with that. Yeah, it's not hard, though. It's one of the favorites of Algebra 1. Really, your parents probably remember how to factor anyway. Okay, multiply the first and the last term together. Very, very important. This is how you solve them and make it so much easier. Find The blank of this term. Find the factors of this term. Put the terms into blank blank and blank out the GCF. Put the terms into the box and factor out the GCF. Okay, one other thing. I want to put the word factor right here. It's like Fear Factor. Oh, my family used to love to watch that show. That was like our family's favorite thing. Okay, so here we go. So you're looking at this and you're like, wait, what? Okay, we're going to follow these rules. The rules say be sure it's in standard form. This is in standard form, x squared, x, and then no x. Then it says fill in the box with the first and the last term. The first term goes here. The last term goes down here. Okay. Then your rule says multiply the first and the last term together. Okay, so I call it making the rainbow. 2 times 3 is 6, and you put that value right there. All right, find the factors of this term. Factors of 6. 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and then you get to 3 times 2. Once they start repeating, you don't have to do it. Here's what I need. I'm going to make that x. Remember that x a while ago? The 6 goes on top. But what goes on bottom? The middle term over here. So we are going to circle that, and that's what goes on the bottom. Remember, we multiplied up and we added down. Which of these can I put together to get a 7? If I add them together, well, I'm not going to get a 2 and a 3. It's going to be these right here. So I'm going to say that 1 and 6. 1 times 6 gives me 6 up here, and 1 plus 6 gives me 7. So these are both positive. So now it says put the terms into the box. I'm going to take this 1 and the 6. I'm going to put, it does not matter where you put them. You're just going to put them in the box. So I'm going to say 1 and 6 into the box. Here's the thing. This has an X. I need to be sure when I put them in the box that I put an X with them. Very, very important. In fact, every time you set it up, you could almost always say this is x squared, this is x, and that's not. It's almost always like that. All right, so then it says factor out the GCF. So we're going to look at this first row, and we're going to do the variables and the numbers. What does x squared and x have in common? Well, they both have an x in them. This has 2 x's, but this has 1. So you can only take out the smallest one. You can't take out the biggest. Okay, 2 and 6. What number do 2 and 6 both have in them? Well, they both have a 2. That is the hardest step. Okay, once you get that, the rest of it is super easy. 2x times what would give me 2x squared? Well, 2 times 2, so it's kind of like you're dividing it. That would just be a 1. X times what would give me x squared? I think I need another x. Let's check. 2 times 1 is 2. X times x is x squared. Hey, that worked. Okay. 1x times what would give me 1x? 1x times 1 would give me 1x. 1 times what would give me 3? 1 times 3. Let's see, 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1x is 1x. 2x times 2x squared, 2x times 1x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. Hey, that worked. You just factored it. Here's what you did. On this side, I see 2x and a positive 1. That means this is 2x plus 1. On the top, I see 1x and a positive 3. That's a whole lot like x plus 3. That's it. I factored. Can I check it? I sure could. I could go ahead and double distribute and go back and check it. Here's another way to check it. It's awesome. I love, love, love quadratics. Okay, here we go. You're going to go to y equals. You're going to put in 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. And then you're going to put in parenthesis 2x plus 1 parenthesis x plus 3 parenthesis. Those are my two equations. I'm going to graph. If I did it correctly, they are going to graph right on top of each other. Oh, look at that. My blue line turned red. Did y'all catch that? Let me zoom number 6 and watch it. There's the blue. There's the red right on top of it. So that means I did it correctly. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so x squared minus x minus 12. So I put the first one, it's already there, and the last one into the boxes. Fill in the first and the last box. Multiply the first and the last terms together. Well, there's a 1 right here. So 1 times negative 12. Negative 12. Find the factors. Well, let's see. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay. I need to multiply to get negative 12. Ooh, what am I adding to get? There's not even anything there. There's a 1. I'm adding to get negative 1. All right, the only numbers that are close together that would give me a negative 1 are going to be 3 and 4. So I'm going to put a 3 and a 4. I need to add together to get negative 1. Well, if I make this negative, negative 4 plus 3 would be negative 1. Negative 4 times 3 would be negative 12. There we go. So I need to take these and put them up here. So I've got and it doesn't matter which box. I'm going to put 3 here and negative 4 here. Okay, so my box is filled out. Now I need to undo it and figure out what my answer is. So what do x squared and negative 4x have in common? You know what? There's a 1 here, and that's not, the only thing these have in common is an x. X times what would give me x squared? Let's see, x times x would be x squared. X times what would give me negative 4x? Well, that would be negative 4. X times negative 4 would be negative 4x. X times what would give me 3x? I need a 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. There we go. Can you write your factors? That would be x plus 3 times x minus 4. Can I check it? You bet. Here we go. We're going to check it. Y equals clear, clear. So we've got x squared minus x minus 12. And then we've got parenthesis x plus 3 parenthesis x minus 4 parenthesis graph. Blue. Please turn red. Yay, it turned red. So that means I did it correctly. All right. So I want you to try these over here. I'm going to see if I can just move that without moving this. I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to set my timer. Get a drink. I'm going to talk you through it. Remember, you want to put your first and last term in the box. First and last term in the box. Then you want to multiply your first and last term together to get your number that goes up here. And then you want to find your factors. Okay, by now you should have that a little bit filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my numbers into 2x squared and 3. 2 times 3 would give me 6. Factors of 6, 1 times 6, 2 times 3. Multiply to give me 6, add to give me negative 7. One times 6. I need to get a negative 7 and a positive 6. Negative 7, negative 1. So I'm going to put those in here. So negative 1x, negative 6x. Time to do the factors. Now, if you struggle, like to this part, you get here and you're like, I don't even know how she does that GCF. Pick a line where nothing's in common. 1 and 3 don't have anything in common. And x and 3, they don't have anything in common. So when they don't have anything in common, it's probably just a 1. Like that's the only number those have in common. You might look at this row. 2 and 6 have a 3 in common, right? Or I'm sorry, not a 3, a 2 in common. And x squared and x have an x in common. Let's see if this works. 2x times what would give me 2x squared? Well, I would just need an x. 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x times what would give me negative 6x? That would be a negative 3. Sorry guys, my camera froze and I didn't even know it. Okay, so I think where I stopped was I was saying the x right here. X times negative 1 would give me negative 1x. And then I did negative 3 times negative 1 would give me a positive 3. So let's write our factors down here. 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to check it. Y equals, clear, clear. All right, so we've got 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. And then parenthesis 2x minus 1, parenthesis x minus 3. Oh, let's see if it turns red. Please turn red. Please turn red. Yay, it turned red. Okay, I'm going to make that just a little bit. Oops. Make that just a little bit brighter. And it did. It turned red. Okay, so we did it right. All right. Here we go. Last one. I'm going to scooch you this over just a little bit so it's not so dark. First and last one in the box. Make the rainbow. Make the rainbow is where you multiply. Find your factors. Multiply up to get negative 20. Add down to get negative 8. All right, I'm going to start putting mine while you're doing that. Okay, I've got it set up. 10 and this one, the only thing in common here is an x. X times x will give me x squared. X times 2 will give me 2x. 2 times negative 10 would give me negative 20. X times negative 10 is negative 10x. So on the top I've got x minus 10. On the bottom I've got x plus 2. I'm going to double check that. So I'm going to go to y equals. And I'm going to do x squared minus 8x minus 20. And then I'm going to do x minus 10 and x plus 2. And it's right on top, so I did it right. And that is factoring the beginning. So let me pull this out, so in case you need to pause your video and get any of these last minute ones, you just needed to see it all. There it is.